everyone, this is your girl Regine again. I am coming today with this special. I call it a special because, it's a good thing. I reached out to a friend of mine. I believe it was from college, right?
Yes.
Exactly, from college. And I remember you also invited me to an event that your church was having, and I went, so I reached out to her via Facebook because we definitely have a lot in common right now, besides, the past. We currently expecting our second child. So I reached out to her to do how you call it, you that pregnancy brain sometimes you go to the word just doesn't come to you, a collaboration, right? Exactly.
I couldn't think of it either.
That's the word. Okay, yes. So we're currently doing collaboration, just asking each other, what our first pregnancy was and what the current pregnancy is. Some questions that we would like to share with some of you guys. So we're gonna get started. You can go ahead and I'll let you introduce yourself, and then we only have 10 questions each. We each will take turn and ask questions, and also I'll be posting her video, obviously the questions that I'll be asking her on my page, and she'll do the same thing on her page. And then you guys can take turn and go to her page, subscribe to her page, subscribe to my page, and that's how we women support one another. And not only that, right? Not only that, it's just, it's fun that we're experiencing this right now, right? Around the same time. So go ahead and introduce yourself, and then we can start with the questions.
So, hi everyone. My name is Jalixa. As Regine mentioned, we met in college, and yeah, and we're both prego, so
Yeah.
that's exciting. Um, so I'm 11 weeks, but
Nice.
I'll let Regina ask all the questions, and I'll
Yeah.
answer, and then we'll flip it around.
All right, sounds good. So my first question is, what was the process? Because after I got married, I wanted to have kids. Just because you never been pregnant before, you don't know what your body can produce or not. So I wanted to know, can I get pregnant or not, so it was a go for us the minute, we say I do, that we wanted to try, right? So but I don't know if it's the same story for you, but if it was, what was the process like? You're getting pregnant with your son. By the way, she has a beautiful son.
Oh, thank you. Yes, my son's name is Levi, and he's
Nice.
1 years old. So, yes, when we got married, well, I didn't want kids right away. It was definitely in our plans. I mean, I kind of specifically said, I want to be married for 3 years and then we can start having kids. And that's actually exactly what happened. Right when the 3 years came, I looked at my husband and I'm like, okay, is it time? Let's,
Right.
see if this can happen. But it's funny how you mentioned, like, I kind of thought, like, is it even possible? Like, can I get pregnant? And I know, unfortunately, a lot of women do struggle with getting pregnant. um and honestly, we tried, I want to say we tried for about 3 months before I got pregnant, and that to some people is like really fast. And
Mhm.
for me, for those 3 months, I was like, oh my God, I don't know if I can get pregnant. Is this working?
Right.
Am I doing it
Right.
right?
Exactly. Yeah. It's very nerve-wracking because every month you like, you like holding your breath, and then boom, your little red friend comes and is like, again, it's like you have to start all over. And for us it was 6 months. So like you said, for some people it's nothing, but when you look at these stories of women who's been married for
Yeah.
years and years and still struggle, it's a blessing.
Mhm.
All right, the second question is, how did you find out you were pregnant?
Oh, so the first time I found
So
out,
because you're expecting now, so you can give me a story for both. How did you
oh,
find
okay,
out?
that's good. So the
Okay.
first time I kind of found out the typical way, like I was about a week late, and that's
Mhm,
when I decided, let me test to see if it comes out positive. So
mhm,
when I was late, I kind of felt like, okay, this is it, because I was never late. I never used to be late. So when I checked, I was positive. So it was exciting, but not so surprising, if that makes sense.
Yes,
Now,
because that's the trying.
the second time, with the second time, we did plan it. So I did say that I didn't want my babies to be too far apart in age. I did want to have it back to back. So I actually had a C-section my first pregnancy. So I had to wait minimum a year before trying again. So right when the year came, we started trying. And but I didn't know I was pregnant because I had, since I was breastfeeding for my first pregnancy, I had to get a non-hormonal, what's that called? Like to not get pregnant. Like I couldn't take birth control. Like I couldn't take the pill because I was breastfeeding. So I got an implant in my arm.
Okay.
So
My sister
when,
had one of those.
yeah. So when we started, when we decided to start trying, I got the implant removed. I had actually got it removed in August, and we were gonna start trying by October. So August came around, I removed it, but since I removed it, I never got my period at all since August.
Okay.
So we started trying in October. I didn't get pregnant until December. So so from August till December, I didn't have a period. So I didn't think I was pregnant at all because I spoke to my doctor, and my doctor was just like, well, once your body regulates again and you start having a period, then you know how to time it right. So I was like, okay, so when I get my period, I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out how to time it. But my period never came. So then and this is the funny part, because I don't really eat fast food, but this day I wanted some fries from McDonald's. I was like, I want some French fries and I want some chicken tenders. And then he was just like, well, what's your plan B if they don't have tenders? I was like, there is no plan B. They better have tenders. And then he's like Googling it, and he was like, no, there's no more chicken tenders. I started crying.
Oh my goodness.
I cried for chicken tenders. I started crying and I was like, I want tenders. Why is this so hard? And he looked at me like, are you pregnant?
Oh, wow. You caught it quick.
He was like, are you pregnant? And I said, no, I'm not pregnant. I just want some chicken tender. He was like, I don't know. You got to figure that out. He left, and I took a pregnancy test.
And sure enough,
no, it actually came out negative.
Really?
So I was like, so the next day, I woke up and I started throwing up. So I was like, there's no way, I have to be pregnant.
Yeah.
I'm like, I was crying over chicken tenders and now I'm throwing up. I tested again and it was negative.
Oh, wow.
So now I was like, I'm like, I got COVID.
It's something, right?
Something's wrong with me. But then literally the day right after, the third day, I threw up a second day in a row. So I was like, okay, I'm going to get another pregnancy test and I'm going to make sure. And the third time it came out positive.
Wow, look at that.
So I guess I was testing too early. I actually was able to find out I was pregnant when I was only like 3 weeks pregnant, which is like crazy, unheard of.
That's amazing story. Okay, so the next one is, so obviously you didn't have to tell your husband because he's basically telling you to go get tested because something definitely wrong.
I kind of kept it a secret because I had shown him that it was negative. Because I was like, you see, I'm not pregnant. I'm not crazy. Like, I just really want those tenders. And then the second day, then I was crying because I was like, I really thought I was pregnant because I threw up. But look, babe, it's negative. So he was like, don't worry about it. We'll, keep trying and whatnot. So when I did find out the third time that I was pregnant, I didn't say anything. Okay. And I was like, okay, I'm going to wait.
How did you tell him? So here's the question. How did you tell him?
So I waited a couple more days after. I literally tested maybe 4 more times. because I
Mhm.
was like, I want to make sure I'm pregnant before I, say anything.
Of
So
course.
then I decided to have a little game in the house. And, being stuck at home, it's like we got to find some creative ways to just
Of course.
have like entertainment. And so I told him, I was like, you know what? We love watching a supermarket sweep.
Mm-hmm.
So we watched that in our house. So I was like, I want to do a little game like that where I hide clues, and based on the clues, like you got to go to that certain item and then there's going to be another clue, almost like a scavenger hunt.
Yeah.
So I hid little clues around the house and I was like, let's play it. Let's play. He was like, fine, all right. So I was like, I'm going to use this for my YouTube channel. So I
Right, right.
recorded the whole moment.
Uh-huh.
So I lied and I was like, I want to record the game to put it on my channel. So he was like, okay, then I'll help you out. So he was finding the clues here and there until it led him to the drawer, where in the drawer I had like a chalkboard and the test and a little baby onesie that said I'm
Oh,
pregnant. And
nice.
Levi, who's my son, I said he's gonna be a big brother. So he was just he opens the door. He's just like, "Are you serious? Is this a joke?" And he's like looking at me, and I'm like, "I wouldn't joke around like that." He was like,
Not for something like that.
I was like, but you were negative.
Right? Oh my goodness. What a story. Oh, that is so nice, and how the time that you put into it, and obviously now you have that video. You said you recorded it.
Yes,
So
I did.
you
I
have.
haven't uploaded it yet, but I will soon.
Oh my goodness, that's nice. So, I don't when it comes to nursery, right? Oh my God, that's work right there. Was it hard designing like for your son, and are they gonna be sharing rooms or
Oh,
different, like what's the plan?
no, dear, that's definitely something I'm still thinking about now, especially because so we actually moved out. Me and my husband moved out of our home, and we're currently with our parents until we find another home.
Yeah.
Because we were having a baby and stuff, and well, we were planning it anyway, so we wanted a bigger space.
Wow.
But with that comes now this uncertainty of like, what are we gonna do? Like now we're very picky at the houses that we look, because it's like we need at least 3 rooms, because it's like one for me, one for the baby, and because even if they share rooms, at some point they're gonna grow up and they're
Yes.
gonna want their separate rooms. So it's like, oh, it's
It's a lot of planning. So before
I
you
have
moved out, I'm sure your son had his own like nursery, right? So how was that, putting that together?
so many themes I wanted to do. I was like, I want Little Mermaid, I want Beauty and the Beast, and it was just
Yeah.
like the long list.
Yes.
And I said, if we have a boy, you can decide what you want it to be. And so when
And
we have
anything they decide is usually, a lot of times easier
mhm.
than others.
So when we found out we're having a boy, he was like, all right, I want the room to be Pokemon theme.
Okay,
So it was
nice,
like, okay, whatever. And so that's
right?
that's what it was. It was so easy. I was like, ah, it
That's
would have been a
good.
heck if it was a girl though.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. So the next question is, let me see. I'm trying to read my handwriting. You had names picked out before for your son, or is it during your pregnancy you guys started thinking about it? And do you already have a name picked out for this one?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Um, for my boy, we decided to start thinking about names once we decide the gender, because I
Okay.
didn't want to go through the
That makes sense.
stress about picking names for a girl, names for a boy, if we didn't even know what gender it was going to be.
Mhm.
And then when it was a boy, I honestly think that we decided what the name was going to be in one day.
Really?
We knew that we wanted something biblical, but still something different.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we picked Levi, because of the tribe of Levi.
Of
Um,
course.
and it was just so easy. I wanted it to be something that could be pronounced in Spanish the same
Mhm.
as English. So in Spanish it would be Levi, which is not that different.
And it sounds like French, by the way.
Oh, it does. You think
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
does. So that made it just really simple, no middle name, and yeah.
Yeah,
Now with
that's nice.
this one, we
Uh-huh.
haven't thought of anything yet because
Yeah, because okay. So again, I'm trying to go ahead of time here. Okay. All right, that's nice. Okay. Okay. So do you like being pregnant? And if you do, what exactly you like about it?
I people say I have probably the worst pregnancy,
Yeah.
but I like being pregnant. Like I my first pregnancy, I literally threw up the whole 9 months. It didn't end for me. It was just the whole 9 months. It was pretty bad. This pregnancy is looking like it's the same thing. I'm throwing up constantly. And
Oh,
people are like, I don't know how you could do that. And I'm just like, once I throw up, I'm fine.
why you feel
I
better?
just move on. And I think just knowing the blessing that comes after, it just makes it all worth it. Like I like being pregnant. I enjoy it, and I get to eat whatever I want without being judged.
Exactly. Okay, so the next one is, did you get or are you getting stretch marks right now?
um the weird thing is I didn't get stretch marks from my first pregnancy until after I gave birth.
Really? I didn't know that was a thing. Like
I was
literally after?
done. After, like, when everything kind of started shrinking back into its place, I started realizing the stretch marks. And they're not, I don't have like dark stretch marks. They're almost like maybe a little like the same color in my skin, but like a yeah, pinkish or
Okay.
whitish.
Uh-huh.
Um, but it started coming afterwards. I was like, oh snap, I shouldn't have stopped using that cocoa butter.
Right? So now because of that, do you see them now like more or well, obviously you still a
I'm
little
not,
bit
I think
early.
that because it's my own body, I see them. But
Okay.
like, for example, like my husband, he's like, I could barely notice. I'm like,
Right.
what you mean?
Right? It's just a reminder. Looking at them, it's like, I guess it's part of the whole process of
Mhm.
motherhood. What can you do?
I don't mind. I mean, I have a huge, like the C-section scar. That I can't hide that.
Right, that exactly,
It's my
exactly.
benchmark.
We plan this, hospital bags is, they ready, we print, sometimes we take classes or natural birth, whether we're gonna do an epidural or not, so like were you nervous about the whole process of labor?
Definitely the first time I was, that
Yeah.
was like, I didn't want to do the epidural. I wanted to like just, I guess, see how much I can take
Mm-hmm.
without using anything.
Uh-huh.
And then further along, at the end of my pregnancy, towards the end of my pregnancy, I found out that I had to have a C-section. And that kind of like all my planning of everything that I wanted to do, just to make me feel like a strong woman, went out the
Right,
window because I was like, I just want my baby to be safe.
right, exactly.
And I was just like, you do whatever you got to do, cut me open. I don't care about my body. I just
Exactly.
tell me my baby's gonna be safe.
Safe.
He had
Yeah.
the umbilical cord wrapped around his neck
Oh,
twice.
oh, oh,
So
wow, yeah.
if I didn't have the C-section, like, and they pulled them out, that would
Yeah,
have been it.
exactly. That's something we want to make sure that every, young woman like us, who, whether it's their first child or second, when it comes to the child safety and that mother instinct too, you have it. It's like, okay, let's just do what we need to do. Forget the plan, forget the natural birth, the epidural. Just get, either get this child, even the pain itself. I think at one point I asked for a C-section, but if you ask that question, we'll get to that. Because at one point I asked for one just because I was like, get this child out of me, But yeah, safety is the first, when it comes to that, and sometimes you don't get things your way, but at the end of the day, you have your little one with you, and that's what matters. So we have two more questions. then, well, actually, no. One more question. That's the last question. Okay, so
Wow.
the last question, it went by quick, right? So I'm sure, our viewers gonna want more, but we'll leave that to them. But the last question is, and I know it's early, but do you see baby number 3 in the future?
Oh my goodness, I have the same question for you. Girl, these are the conditions.
Okay.
My husband wants 3 kids. I said, I'm okay with 2 kids.
Right?
We made a compromise, and I don't know if it was the best compromise. So the compromise was, if this second child, because I don't know the gender of my baby yet.
Mm-hmm.
So if this child that I'm having is gonna be a girl, then that's it. We have a boy and a girl, and that's it. If it turns out to be another boy, then we will try for the third. And I'm already like, oh no, why did I agree to these terms? So, like, I feel like I'm gonna have another boy.
You think so?
I think so, just because this pregnancy is so similar to my first. And everyone says, oh, every pregnancy is different. I'm like, this is exactly the same.
Exactly. Get it, because I have a girl currently expecting another girl, so it's like, do I go for it that time? You know, uh, but we'll see. We'll see. That's all. I'm just gonna leave it. We'll see. God's willing. I think I'm gonna blame God on that one. God's willing. His plan. If he see it
That's
fit.
a good one.
Right. But I really wanna say thank you for really agreeing to do this, for the support for my channel, as well as your channel as well. So I had a blast doing this. Thank you for sharing with us, your experience with your son and what your pregnancy now. So one last time, if you're comfortable, you can show us if you have a little bump or not.
I think I have a tiny bump. It's getting there.
You do have one. Oh my goodness. But again, seriously, thank you so much for doing this. I thank you all for watching. And just like we said, when you have time, definitely go to Jalixa's page to watch, the other interview, like this video, and subscribe to our channels. God bless you all. Have a good night. Bye.